పాపభీతి లేని పామరత్వము బట్టి, దైవప్రీతి లేని దారి బట్టి, మానత్వం అడిగే మానవయందు విశ్వశాంతికిదియే విప్లవంబు. Because of the lack of fear for sin in human beings and lack of love for God, there is decline of morality in society, and that is the reason for the lack of peace in the world. It's very simple. This is all that is required to be done. Papa Bhiti, Daiva Priti, Sanghaniti. Papa Bhiti is fear of sin, that if I do something wrong, it will not only harm me, it will harm everyone around me also. Papa Bhiti, I shall not do that because it will not only harm me, it will harm everyone around me. Why should I do that? Not because police will come after me, not because I'll be jailed, not because there'll be a fire which will be lodged against me, but out of simply a sense of love and responsibility for all humanity. I'm a part of this society and I must be responsible. And why? Because I love the humanity. I don't want to destroy each other. I want everybody to live in harmony and peace. Let all be healthy. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Why? Because I believe that God is in all. And I am responsible and answerable to that God at the end about all that I have done, said and thought in my whole life. So Daiva Priti is the only source. Force will not work. And when these two are together, morality in the society, people following their own dharma. Dharma, morality, I am not even saying niti, I am saying dharma. Because niti is the outer reflection of the inner dharma. If your love is there in the heart, your policies will be full of love. Niti is but a set of codes or policies or a law. But dharma is the inner essence, who I am. And if I behave in accordance to my dharma, all my niti will be correct. Therefore, dharma, swadharma, swadharmo nidhanashreya. Swadharme nidhanashreya means even if I have to follow my dharma and die, it is better that I die following my dharma than to not follow. That is the power of one's own dharma. One must do what is to be done. And what is to be done? Daiva Priti, Papa Bhiti. Love God and fear sin. If all of the world just gets these three sentences right, there will be peace in the world. There won't be scientists creating weapons, warfares. There won't be politicians amassing wealth at the cost of the innocent people. There won't be industrialists, abusing the nature and the resources for the sake of gaining some money. There won't be any harm to anyone in the world because everybody has understood Daiva Priti is the supreme, therefore Papa Bhiti must be there, and naturally it will lead to morality. This is so simple, that's all is needed in this world today. To say it is so simple, 3 sentences altogether, not even full sentences, 3 phrases, 6 words in total. Daiva Priti, Papa Bhiti, Sanghati. That's all is needed for the Vishwa Shanti. But unfortunately, humans have deviated so much from this original idea. So when our grandfathers and grandmothers would say, don't do that, God will be upset, generally they'll threaten you, God will punish you. Whatever it was, they were afraid of committing sins. Because they knew of a higher life. They knew this life does not end with this physical departure. Our karmas will pursue us till the end of the earth, like that nakshatraka. He will not leave you. Whatever happens, this karma will come behind us. That's why I was saying the other day, కఠిన తపస్సులే చేసిన కానీ, కారు అడవులకే పోయిన కానీ, కులదేవతలను కొలిచిన కానీ, ఏదైనా చేసిన కర్మ దాటి వశమా. At the end, can we overcome or can we conquer our karmas? We cannot. This karma will chase us till it exacts everything that it's supposed to get from us. It will torture us, it will trouble us, it will make us sad, sorrowful, it will show us hell, whichever way you put it. This won't leave us. So this karma is nothing but papa or punya. Good karmas or bad karmas. Punyam, if you keep doing, there is no reason for you to be sorrowful in your life again. Never he will. Nabibeti kutasyaneti. The one who knows, does no wrong, never has to fear anybody, never has to be afraid of anything. Never. Because we have never done wrong. Why should I be afraid? Suppose I have never made a mistake. I can put my head high and walk. Who can point a finger at me? Because I never made a mistake. Mistake means fear. Therefore, not making a mistake is not possible by our own individual strength. It requires tremendous divine support to not make a mistake. Alone, if you think you can deal with the things, not possible. Pandavas could not have won the war without Krishna. Likewise, to conquer over these senses, mind, and all the other faculties that push us into making mistakes, divine support is a must. That support, when it's there behind us, it's possible for us to not make mistakes. And why will divine go and support anybody? You should have asked divine for the support in the first place, isn't it? If you don't even ask, Duryodhana goes and says, I don't need Krishna, I need the whole of his Sena. And feels happy, Mudamate, feels happy, I have got a good deal, because both of them approached Krishna at the same time. And Krishna played his own drama of acting as if he's sleeping. And both of them waited, one at the feet, one at the head. And Duryodhana thought that now and he thought that first Krishna saw Arjuna at the feet. Oh Arjuna, when did you come? And Duryodhana was panicking. Because if Arjuna asks for all the army and all the cavalry, then I'll be left with nothing. Look at the foolishness of Duryodhana. And he gave a chance to Duryodhana to ask. He said, I want all your army. Arjuna said, Arjuna, you have come first, you ask. And Duryodhana is sinking in his heart. If he asks all the army, how will I win this war? But Arjuna says, I just want you to be by our side, that's all, I don't want anything. So Krishna said, I have divided two things, one side is all my army, one side is me. And Arjuna asked for divine support. He didn't ask for the worldly support, he didn't ask for scriptural knowledge, he didn't ask for some pandityam, intelligence or anything. He just asked, I want your divine support for this war. Everything else can be given to this Duryodhana. Duryodhana, look at the comedy. Somebody who cannot be defeated is Duryodhana. And he is only cause of his own defeat, because he asked for the wrong thing. So divine support is a must to get detachment, develop dispassion, develop this strength to discard the unwanted things from our mind. Who will give this divine support? To whom it is given? Again Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita again. Sarvopanishado. Comes to this. What he says? Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Whom should I give buddhi yoga? Buddhi yoga means to use buddhi to attain yoga. Whom should I give this buddhi? Tesham satata yuktanam. All the time. Don't forget me even for a moment. Satata yuktanam. Bhajatam. Priti purvakam. Those who worship me with love. Not for the sake of Akshvahuni Sena. But for me, my sake, satata yuktanam, to those alone, tesham, buddhi yogam dadami. I will give this buddhi yoga. Others I will not give. He told very clearly. So I said yesterday we have been discussing buddhi is must. That to which kind of buddhi? Sattva buddhi is must, not rajas buddhi, not the lower mind. Both are identical, both look alike. That again Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Pravuttam cha nivuttam cha, kaya akaye, bhaya abhaye, bandham cha moksham cha, yo vetti. Sa satvika, buddhi satviki. That buddhi is satvaki, O Partha. That buddhi which can differentiate between all this. Pravritti marga, nivritti marga. That which will bind us and that which will free us. The one which knows that. The one which knows karye, akarye. What should be done, what should not be done. The one which knows the difference between bhaye, abhaye. What will lead to fear? It means mistakes. And what will lead to fearlessness, which is truth. No mistake. What will lead to bandham? What will lead to moksham? That which knows this, that buddhi is satvaki, sattva buddhi, pure buddhi. There are other buddhi also. Yeah, dharme, adharme ku dharme. What it says is that when you think adharma is dharma, that which teaches you that adharma is actually dharma. I told you yesterday the convincing will happen. Why should I not eat meat? In the past, people have eaten meat. That is also Brahman. This is also Brahman. Why should I not be given Vaishnavara is the same in all, should be able to digest. All kinds of excuse people give me. Why they should be allowed to do certain things. What kind of buddhi is that? Very clearly says, ayathavat, reverse way it tells you everything. It means it tells you wrongly. That is wrong buddhi. Those buddhis fall in the category of rajas and tamas. Rajas, what it does? It confuses you. It doesn't tell you as it's supposed to be. It tells you the wrong thing. That is the lower mind. And tamas, it tells you to do adharma. It doesn't even tell you wrongly. It says just do wrong. Don't even think of doing right. Viparitamcha. Everything it tells you opposite. That is the buddhi, which one? Tamo buddhi. So Rajo buddhi, at least, it is unable to differentiate between dharma and adharma. But Tamo buddhi, what it does, it simply tells you, adharma is the right thing to do. Don't even bother about discriminating and thinking more. Just go ahead, murder. Just go ahead, do as you please. So these kind of buddhis are there in us. So we want good buddhi. How will we get good buddhi? Satata yuktanam, bhajatam. So continuously you have to remember God. God, give me the good buddhi, sad buddhi. Give me the right kind of discrimination, right kind of thinking, so that I am able to take the right decisions. I don't make a mistake. That is very important. That is what is at bhakti. Here it comes, bhakti becomes very important, because without bhakti it's not possible to get rid of bhukti. Our individual strength is not enough to deal with our minds. That whole, you have to command the entire divine power which is at your disposal. You have to call upon Krishna. Please come and do something about this. Otherwise this mind is going to destroy me. It convinces me somehow or the other that everything what I am doing is okay, it's perfect. Rajo buddhi I have. Sometimes it even convinces that wrong things are perfectly fine. It is okay. That kind of buddhi I should not have, Bhagavan. Make sure that my buddhi is discriminating and chooses the sattva buddhi manayam. I am able to choose as it's supposed to be. Dharma, adharma, karya, bhaya, abhaya. Bandham, moksham, pravittam, nivrittam. I should be able to choose correctly. That prayer you should send out to God. Otherwise, by yourself, if you think you can achieve this and win the war, then you are like the foolish Duryodhana. Your name may be Duryodhana, will be Suyodhana you will be, because you can be killed easily by the senses and the mind. So you have to, that is what Kathopanishad Yama said, Preyo Shreyo, both will come in front of you. One is very pleasurable, nice and pleasant to the senses, quick and instant enjoyment. But eventually eternal sorrow it gives you. And the other one is that instantly, if you see in that moment, it may look like difficult, it may look painful. But eventually in the long term, that is what will keep us extremely happy. It has been told any number of times. Kathopanishad, it was told in a whole chapter. Bhagavad Gita, it was told in one small shloka. In Swami's, hardly 6 words. Yet it doesn't go inside people's head. Why? Because we are not serious about our spiritual progress. We are not serious about it. If we were serious, why would we not put efforts? If you are serious about passing the exams, should you not put efforts? If you are not serious, only you will laze around and think whatever comes, it's fine. And then come back and say, I am Samabuddhaya, whatever marks come does not matter, I am already in state of Samadhi. You are lamenting yesterday, there is no Jivan Mukta in your group of people. I have become Jivan Mukta, please acknowledge. I was thinking, I don't declare myself as Jivan Mukta. And here is somebody says that Swami, I have given all my controls to you and I am a Jivan Mukta now. Avigyatam vijanatam, vignatam avijanatam. The one who says, I know it, he does not know it. The one who says that I don't know about anything about it, actually is the one who knows it. So that is the buddhi. One day people decided that they are already Jivan Muktas. That is buddhi. How it can, that is the mind, how it can easily convince you, you know what, I have given up everything, I am here, I am doing some sadhana in there, I have already become Jivan Mukta. As long as no negative things come, go and irritate him a little and all the Jivan Mukta will come out of it. Irritate him a little bit. Go and say a thing or against what he or she thinks. or do anything which is against what is Shri. As long as you don't touch them, all will look angels. Scratch them, the beast comes out, as Vivekananda says. So this Jivan Mukti is not as straight as what it sounds like. I may make it sound very simple to encourage you that it is in yours, it is like a gooseberry on the palm and it is easily achievable. Never say you can't. I will encourage you like this, because the moment examination, class starts, the teacher comes and puts a long face and says, it's a very, very difficult subject, I don't know how many are going to pass. What kind of teacher is that? So he will tell it's very easy, you should put efforts, I will explain to you, you put efforts, we will pass. All of you will get good marks. Some courage you develop, some kind of a motivation. So that is why God will come and motivate you again and again. So Krishna says that what have you to do? Buddhi yogam upashritam. This Buddhi yoga, you upasana, you follow that. Buddhi yogam. How do I follow this Buddhi yogam? Why? What will I get out of this Buddhi yogam? Krishna only says, mat chitta you will get. Your mind will get completely absorbed in me. Satatam bhava. Buddhi yogam upashritaha mat chitta satatam bhava. Continuously you will be able to absorb your mind in me. Now you will say, which is first, chicken comes first or egg comes first? Just now you told, the one who continuously thinks of me will be granted Buddhi yoga. Now you are saying, the one who gets Buddhi yoga only can think of me continuously. Which comes first? Which comes second? You may ask me like that. It's like asking which came first, chicken came first or egg came first? Which one came first? Truth is that it does not matter. If you develop continuous thinking, your buddhi will get sharpened. And if your buddhi gets sharpened by continuous thinking, you will continue to think continuously. Both are self-fulfilling. Both help each other. But what you can do, one shloka comes before Buddhi Yogam. It says, you should be a good devotee. Mat chitta, madgata prana, bodhayanta parasparam. All the time talk about me. Let's not talk about unnecessary things. Bodhayanta, about God you talk, about good things you talk. Keep satsanga. Kathayanti mam nityam tushyanti charamanti. Talk about me, think about me, discuss about me, so that your mind is at least forcibly put on me. On its own, it won't want to go. But because I came to satsang, what choice do you have other than think about God at this time? Because you came to the satsang. Naturally, you are listening to something good or thinking of something good. If you did not come to satsang, let's say you're sitting in your room, would you be thinking of God with the same intensity and attention now? Maybe some of you would be lying down sleeping, some of you might be eating, somebody would have gone for a nice walk, somebody would have been just lazing around doing nothing, and somebody might be engaging in something wrong too. But because you forced yourself into a satsang at this point in time, or came voluntarily, or came with joy and enthusiasm, whichever way, you came to a satsang, job done. Job done. Because, see, when Buddha's disciple one day sat in meditation and woke up, that's what Nitya Shanti told. And he said, I have got a great idea, understanding. What is it, Buddha asks? He said, I have understood that satsanga is half the job done. Half of it is done if you have satsanga. And Buddha said, no, satsanga is full job done. If you are in satsanga, it's the full thing, it's not just the half thing. It's not half, it's full. So push yourself into a satsanga. Kathayanti cha mam nityam tushyanti ramanti cha. Thinking of me, speaking about me, talking about me. That's the first step. Push yourself into satsanga. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Your mind gets agitated. A desire is trying to conquer you. It is so strong. Just leave the place. Run into some satsanga. Go get into the company of some people who can give you some noble thoughts and noble feelings at that time. Just run. Tyaja durjana sansargam. What is durjana? Our own mind, tamo mind is durjana. Run away, saying, I don't want this mind. That running away, if you don't do at that point of time, the mind will overpower you. Because it knows the trick. So that thing, the first response to the mind, how quick is the response? They say when we were telling the heart attack comes, the first 1 hour is the most crucial. If you don't treat the patient or don't bring him immediately to some kind of a first aid, the damage is done. After that 1 hour, you may put any number of efforts to revive the patient, you have lost the battle almost. For massive heart attack, the first 1 hour is so crucial. Whatever we do for the first 1 hour, it takes care. Like a baby is born, first 1 year is the most crucial. If you don't take care of the baby for the first 1 year, it can develop a lot of diseases, malnutrition or underdevelopment, lot of things can happen. So like that, the moment thought comes, the first response, that moment responding to it correctly using the Sattva Buddhi is very important. If you miss that response at that moment, damage is done. It's over. After that, you cannot repair it. It's already done. So push yourself into satsanga. That way you will develop bhakti. You will think of God on a continuous basis. Nitya satata yuktam. You will think bhaja God. He will give you buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga will give you a proper buddhi to discriminate and detach, and the strength that is required to come with it. You will be able to know which is the prayo marga, which is shreyo marga, and quickly take a decision. I will not go into the prayo marga. I will go to the shreyo marga. Pravritti, nivritti, immediately you will take a decision because you have God supporting you from behind, plus you have practiced it so many times. So in that way you will be able to conquer your mind and senses, and once the mind learns that it is incapable of fighting you, it will surrender. When will the enemy surrender? When you know that you are more powerful than the enemy. You have far bigger power at your disposal than the enemy has. So I have God with me, God's grace with me, God's support with me. That is the biggest power. How can a mind deal with it? It cannot. But to get God's grace to help you in that moment of crisis, you need to have bhakti and continuously think of God. And if you are unable to think of God all by yourself because your mind wanders, join satsanga. Find a way to be a part of satsanga, wherever, however possible. If nothing else, in your home, 4 people are there. So all of you sit down. Let each talk about something good before sleeping, after you wake up. All those crucial times when you think your mind can deviate, convert those into satsanga times. So that is the idea, that you buddhi yoga or buddhi will not get sharpened unless you have satata bhakti, and that will come only with satata sangha, satsanga, continuous satsanga. You think, you go back and look at your life, all the mistakes you have made is when you forgot God, either deliberately or otherwise. You forgot God, is then mistakes have happened. When you never forgot God, there is no way you can make a mistake. How can there be darkness and sunshine both together? It's not possible. Go back and trace the root of the problem. When Chanakya was walking in the street, he was pricked by a thorn from a thorny bush. So he got very irritated and he removed the thorn, of course, but then he went to the nearby shop, bought some sugar or jaggery, as the case must be, and then he mixed it in water and came and poured it on the thorny bush. So Chanakya, the small boy, Chandragupta, who was there with, he got surprised. Why this man is doing this kind of things? Because Chanakya is a niti, yukti. He said, see, if I just pluck this tree out, which I can do, it will grow back again. I'm sure somebody in the past must have done that. But the roots did not come out. Some bit of roots, vasanas were there. That's why it grew back again and is again thorn. I put sugar water, syrup in it. Now ants will come, they'll eat it up from the roots. They'll finish it. They won't even leave this much of, because everything has become sweet in the plant. They'll finish it from the roots. Once for all, you're done. So that kind of a buddhi, not superficial, artificial on surface, but you should be going deep into the investigation where this thought is arising from me. Where did this thought come? I watched something like that. I read something like that. I met someone like that. Somebody spoke to me something like that. I heard that. Go back and keep digging the roots. Then you'll know this person, whenever I meet, this is what we talk. That's where subconsciously I pick up these thoughts. Whenever I go towards that side, I end up watching something, and that thing, even though at that moment I don't react to it, it gets into my subconscious and stays there. Another time it grows and troubles me. Like that, you investigate in your own premises, in your environment, what is that which drives you into that. And you will find it out very clearly, very, very, very clearly. Little investigation you will find out. So when you are removing your thoughts and throwing, don't do this artificial throwing is all I am saying. Superficial at the surface level. Try to go back into deeper and deeper analysis of, if I have temper, why this temper comes, in what situations it had come in the past, most often when it comes, And when is that? Is there an incident where I have controlled my temper? What were those situations and circumstances in which I could control my temper? Though I am a man of temper. But what were those situations when I just lose my temper? My mother says something, I lose my temper. Why? Because she is after all my mother only. But if some teacher says something, I keep quiet. I don't go and react. Some differences, then you'll find out. So at home you are one and at outside you are one. Why? Because you have two different circumstances in which you behave differently. Now find out why you behave like this at home and why you behave like this outside. Because at home, you can be yourself. You can be the demon that you want to be. Outside, you can be the angel. People's perception. But it means what? If you were really an angel, how can you be a demon at home? It means you are not an angel. There is that problem. It may not surface in a certain circumstance and situation, but it is there as the seed, as the root is there, which comes out in the other circumstances. The one for whom it does not come out in any circumstances, he has become nirlipta. He has become vimukta. He has got rid of it from all points of view. For him, there is no more coming of it again. Because that has got burnt into this jnana, this investigation, vichara, has taken care that it has gone to the roots and uprooted it once for all. So you should go and dig. You should go and dig deep into investigation. Because it's not about today you may say, Swami, today I worked hard, I thought of all those 10, 20 things which are troubling me, and I have simply mentally made an effort that I am no more associated with, that is not me. Na me dvesha rago, na me lobha moho, na mado naiva matsarya bhava. I have done exercise today, Swami, I have thought of all those things and I have discarded them. But has it really gone away from the roots is the question. Dvesha, when does this dvesha come to me? Under what situation? In whose presence? Then dig that and identify that root. Now I understand. My dvesha comes when I meet this person or I am in this situation. Otherwise, I am generally not having dvesha. My raga comes only under these particular circumstances. Otherwise, raga is not coming. Moha comes for these things and these people because of a reason that I saw this object with somebody else and I also developed an attachment towards it. I also wanted it. So go back and start analyzing where at least in your present memory, where the roots are. Where it has begun. Everything finally will go to ego only, that is given. Ahankara is the ultimate root for everything else. It is, rather you call it is the soil on which everything grows. All the negativity grows. So ahankara, you get rid of it, that will go one by one. But that is, ahankara can be lost only in sakshatkara. Brahma with Brahma Yoga. There is no other way of losing ahankara. Deha bhavam to daiva bhavam. But why I am taking you step by step. This vichara you must do. Where is the origination of this thought? Was I born with these thoughts? Did I develop it at some point in time? Under what situation? Simple example give, some kind of a raga comes to you. When does it come? You are sitting here, who is getting a raga right now? Tell me. Who is getting dvesha or krodha? Everybody is at peace. They are all thinking and evaluating themselves and analyzing, listening. All your mind and senses are busy right now. Your horses and the reins are in good control. When does this go wrong? You think for yourself. When you forget God and remember something else. If you forget God and remember nothing, still it is okay. But what is happening? You forget God and instantly remember something else. That's when the trouble begins. Now go back and trace your own originations of where it has come from. Last month my friend got married. I am still a bachelor. You live in Bangalore, you will know all these pressures. So where the thought came? It came because you compared yourself with somebody who last time he got a new car and I have no idea. I have nothing right now. Or he got this or he got that. That somewhere the origination has come from there. Somebody has fueled that thought in your head. So who watered it? Avoid such a person, avoid such a company. Reading also you should be careful. Because you are eating not only through your mouth, eating through your ears, eyes, nose, skin, all in graha. You are accepting it, accepting the thoughts from outside. So that's why indriya nigraha, to control them. Graha is called, why? Because you accept. Nigraha means not accept. How to do that? Satsanga, as I said, the best is satsanga. Even at your home, even anywhere. As you're walking, do some namasmana, do something, more troubles won't come. And whatever already is there, go to the root cause of it. Don't just superficially cut and throw it. After 1 week, it will come back again. That is why when somebody asks Ramana, is bhakti and all this will help us to control the mind? He said, yes, it will help you to control the mind, but it will not help you to annihilate it. It will come back again. Annihilation of it requires vichara. First vichara is where is all coming from. And I want you to ultimately give, it's a foregone conclusion that ultimately it comes from your ego. Ego cannot be dissolved unless you realize divinity. This ego will always trouble you. That is the end result. Theorem is written. Ultimate peace of mind is ego dissolves into divinity. Now you are only going through the steps to understand that, yes, it is true. Yes, it is true. That's all we are doing. How do we know mind troubles us? What is mind? It's a set of thoughts. What are these thoughts? Some of them are desires, some of them are impulses, some of them are instincts, some of them are intuitions, some of them are good, bad, ugly. Now next thing, how do I control this? How do I get rid of this mind? How do I purify this mind? Continuously I am doing satsanga and also we're doing vichara, viveka to remove all this. And now I'm using vairagya to get rid of it. No, this is not me. How do you get rid of it? It is not me. Suppose somebody else's clothes are lying in your cupboard, what will you do? What will you do? Why will you keep it in your cupboard? My question is that. You give to Dhobi all your clothes. He always brings somebody's clothes back to you. What do? Doesn't matter, wear it. But it should fit you. It should fit you. Ladies, I'm not saying saris fit everybody, but boys, it's not same size, length, breadth. So what will you do? No, give back my clothes. This is somebody else's clothes. It doesn't fit me. It is not mine. Will you not return it immediately? Like that, return these thoughts immediately. The moment they enter, these are not my divine thoughts. These are not to be mine. I am not associated with this. These don't belong to me. So what if they got in and they've been staying for so long? Let me discard them because these are not in accordance with my divine nature. Keep reminding yourself, you are divine, you are divine, you are divine. This is not in accordance with my divine nature. Therefore, I must discard these thoughts. Those who are practicing will obviously face trouble. I am happy that you face trouble because that is how it will be. I am happy that you didn't come and say, Swami, don't worry, I have become a Jivan Mukta, I face no trouble at all. I have faced trouble. Some trouble I have faced. Good. You're supposed to face trouble. That's why I told you. If you don't face any trouble, it means the mind has again tricked you. Or you have become Jivan Mukta. One of the two. But I don't believe the second part so strongly right now. I will believe it after some time. But other part is because you have tried something and mind has tricked you. Therefore, you think you're nothing. Like children, silent. The teacher turns that side, noise. Turn this side, silence. Have you seen that in classes? His head turns this side, absolute pin drop silence. Turn that side, full noise. Turn again, silence. Mind has tricked you that your illusion that it is all noisy, it was actually silent. That's how mind is. Very, very clever. It's been created that way. The beauty of the mind is that that obstacle also has been created by Divine Himself, God Himself. And He told you, I'll give you a big bull. You tame it and you can do agriculture, you can do farming. It's very strong. You can't tame it, it will come and kill you. That's how God has given you this mind. You tame it, you train it, it becomes your good servant, you can do so much with it. You don't tame it, you don't train it, it will ruin you. It can be of great use to the person. He can plow the field, he can help harvesting, he can help in transporting, anything. But if the bull is not tamed, it is terrible. It will trouble you. Like I said, and senses are horses. If they're trained, you can do show jumping, you can travel long distance, it can carry your load. But the moment they are not trained, all these horses are going to be troublemakers. Everything. So this mind has to be tamed. Taming and training is the process going on. We found out what all things this mind gets agitated, restless with. Now we are taming, saying that no, don't go that side. Isn't it? So I was talking to Jairam, he said, you are a horse coach. Not a coach, but he is coordinator for the horse show jumping. And we put 2 blinds to the horse. Do we put? Why? Because horse's eyes are on the side, not like us in the front. It can see on the sides. So it sees almost 300 degrees. Except back of his head, it sees everything. Now what happens when the horse is going on the road? It sees things on right, things on left, things ahead. It gets tensed. Like you are driving, if you are seeing ahead, it's fine. Suddenly you start seeing on the side and this side, you get tense, you get confused. So this horse gets confused and gets wild. So they put the blinds for the horse, and that's how it can focus on the show jumping, whatever the obstacles, and it can jump accordingly and go. Suppose we had opened, you would have seen 6th class CBSE, 7th class CBSE, 9th class, everybody around, it will get scared. There are too many people over here. It will get confused, it will get distracted. So you kept the blinds. So Viveka and Vairagya are the blinds. It will help you not to get distracted and focus on your goal and jump over. But this is possible only in satsanga. So keeping good company, keeping good thoughts, good books around you. By your bedside, keep 2 good books. For some reason in the night you get up and some thought is troubling you. Anything, kama, krodha, lobha, roga, whatever, dvesha, mada. Pick up that book, open 2 pages and read 2 pages till your mind settles down. Close the book and keep it down and go to sleep. Can be done, isn't it? I'm not saying if you can do namasmarana, very good. Or meditate yourself to sleep again. Meditate yourself to sleep. Or do some namasmarana if possible. Or just get up from your place, walk around a bit and come back when your mind is more settled. Or keep a book or something next to you that you pick it up, read a few pages, distract the mind like a child has to be distracted when it is demanding things from the parents. That's how parents distract the child. I want ice cream now only. No, we'll get you next week we'll get you. No, I want now only. And starts crying and throwing tantrums, rolling on the floor. What does the mother do? Now where do you get ice cream in the middle of the night? Even if it's there, it should not be given, he'll fall sick. So what will the mother do? It will distract it with some toy or some story. Okay, you listen to a story of a prince and of Treta Yuga. His name was Rama. This happened, that happened. Oh, I know this story. I don't want to listen. Give me ice cream. Okay, did you hear the story of Krishna? I heard that story also. Last time I asked ice cream, you told me the same story. Okay, next time I will tell you the story of Shirdi Baba. Oh, who is Shirdi Baba? No, he's a saint of Maharashtra. He came like that. Then new story, the child gets attentive. Isn't it? That's how you have to dissuade your mind. When the instincts are so strong, they don't want to leave you from their clutches. That is the time you have to distract your mind with a story or with a method. And you keep practicing. I'm not saying you'll gain your expertise in the very first day. That is in accordance to your Shraddha, you will gain. You may not be able to gain also. You may put all your efforts sincerely, still you give in to your temptations. That also is okay as long as you are aware that you are giving into temptation. Unaware, you should not give in to it. You are aware. Yes, my mind is asking, my buddhi is telling no, my mind is telling yes. I am listening to my mind more than buddhi. At least that awareness should be there at that moment. That's all I am saying. That one step you have reached. You may still give in to the mind at that moment. All right, you have given it, what can you do? But next time when it is coming, your conviction should be stronger. Last time I gave in to this mind, this time it is the turn of buddhi. Buddhi should dominate this time, not the mind. Like that you keep turning and turning and turning. Someday the buddhi will always dominate, mind will always be subordinated to buddhi. This is buddhi yoga. First day you cannot achieve buddhi yoga. But over a period of time, by using the right aids to help you, book, music, walking, or just staring at Swami's photo, anything that can help you distract the mind like you distract the child who is demanding ice cream at that moment. Use any of the tricks so that no more accumulation of that happens. Already those instincts are there, difficult to get rid of. Every time you give into the base of the mind, it's like you're hammering the nail deeper into the wall. That's what is happening. Pouring more water into the thorny bush. That's what is happening. You're only encouraging it. Some philosophers are there. No, if your mind demands something, give it to it. One day it will get fed up. Diminishing marginal utility, they say in economics. You eat too many sweets, you will not like and eating anymore. You will get fed up. After you have got diabetes, of course. So they say, it doesn't matter. You enjoy your senses because that is how you can finally overcome them. You put wood to the fire. You think fire, you'll overcome fire? Fire demands wood. The more wood you add, the more it will burn. How can it? Only water will stop the fire, isn't it? How can wood stop the fire? So if your senses are wanting fulfillment, how can you fulfill the senses and control the senses? It doesn't make any sense to me, the logic. But we don't want our ashram like that. This is not the idea of spirituality. This is not a hippie culture. So this is where you have to do Indriya Nigraha, you have to control the mind. And right now as you are doing these things, every time your mind comes and tricks you, saying that it's perfectly alright, this thing you leave it, don't throw it out. You tell, every time I have followed this, I have only got into trouble. I have only experienced sorrow. After the temporary joy, I have only experienced sorrow. Even though I shouted at that person and I got very satisfied, that well deserved, that person deserved this, long due, well done. One part of you think, should you behave like this? Okay, they behave that way, that is their nature. Should you behave like this? Your buddhi will tell. Mind will tell, what is wrong? Am I not responsible for correcting my own brothers and sisters and everybody? Should I not teach them a good lesson? Somebody wrote to me also one day, Swami, you said Tyajadurjana Sansargam. But if we Tyajadurjana Sansargam, we run away from bad people, who are going to go and correct them? Who are going to teach them good things? If all good people run away from bad people, then who is going to teach the bad people to become good? Genuine doubt. I said you should become so good that you can never become bad. Then you can go into the bad company. Buddha can walk into anywhere and not worry, because he is sure that he will not go back to the bad ways. He has all conquered, he's overcome. If you have done that, then you have the right to go into that. Otherwise, don't even take risk. This is misplaced compassion. And I have seen this. There were two friends in our own institution. One was very notorious, one was very good. So I told this good fellow, see, you keep a watch on the notorious one and see to that, both of you maintain some sanity and discipline over here. What happened? The good fellow, bad fellow, whether he became good or not, the good fellow became bad. Because the other fellow somehow convinced him that it is all right with all these things. Doesn't matter. So what happened? It became reverse for them. It means what? You didn't have enough strength to brave that. Therefore, don't go into the bad company. Avoid it. Don't even think that you can go and do some good to them. No. That is why somebody asks, how do I help the world? Help yourself first. Forget the world. World comes next. First you help yourself. You yourself don't have enough strength to face the things. And you want to go and be seen as some reformer outside. First you reform yourself. And when you have had that kind of a courage and conviction and the strength, then you can take up anything. You don't know yourself, you want to teach others. How is it going to? Andhe niyamana yathandaha. Blind leading the blind it will become. Both will go and fall in a ditch somewhere. So don't try all these stunts. You think of first saving your own soul. In the sense, learning how to conquer your mind, keep matchitta, keep the buddhi absorbed in niveshyasi, into God. It is powered by God. Your buddhi should be powered by God. Then it has enough strength that you can discard things which you don't want. As I said, at the end of it, only final one desire should remain. And anything else should be just complementary to that desire. Desire should remain that I should know my truth. Because all problems end there only. One step before that is not the end of the problem. All problems end there only. When you know your divine self, vidyate hridaya granthi. All your doubts, all your hridaya granthi means the knots in the heart. It's a symbolism. Those painful, terrible habits that obstruct the free flow of your divinity, those are the knots. A pipe gets knotted, flow of water stops. Those knots are destroyed. Your heart, full, it flows again with divine feelings. Chidyante sarva samshaya. All kinds of doubts that you ever get will be destroyed in that Kshiyante chasya karmani, your activity in the sense I am the doer. Not that activity stops means not that you will become a recluse. You may still do your activity, but why his karmas become less? Kshiyante means decline or get destroyed. Karmani, how can it happen? Because you are not the doer anymore. It's happening, but you are not doing. You know it very well. Tasmin drishte, the one who has seen that paravare, the one who has seen that beyond, alone can get rid of everything. For others, there is no way. You can, as I said, you can remove it as much as possible, but some root, some piece of it will be still there. The final redemption is only when you have become one with God. Nevertheless, at least these processes will help you to go towards becoming one with God. These are not the bushes on the way, thorny bushes. You cannot walk on this path. At least keep pulling out as and when you, so that your road gets cleared and you can walk to God. That effort has to be put. That is what I am saying. You have to go towards God. Your road is full of thorny bushes, obstacles. These are all those ideas that you have put in your head for a long time. Now you are removing them from the way. Because this is obstructing you from reaching God. These are all Hridaya Granthis. These are all you are removing because you want to reach God. So that is exactly the process right now going on. At the end of it, Admritattvam Icchan, I only want to know immortality. I don't want anything else. Nachiketa said, I don't want anything else. Keep your attractions to yourself. Tavaiva vaha tavan nritya gite. Keep your dance and music to yourself. Don't entertain me with all that. Tell me what I need to know. And I will not settle for anything less. I will not settle for anything less. I want that or nothing else. Then Yama is so happy. I am fortunate. Ascharyo Vakta. The one who is speaking this truth like me is wonderful, is a great being. And who are you? Kushalan, I am Labdha. You, the one who is receiving this knowledge also is wonderful like you. Ascharyo Gyata, the one who gets this knowledge like you is wonderful. Kushalan Anushishtaha, the one who teaches this knowledge also is wonderful. Because only such a person who knows this knowledge can teach this knowledge. Otherwise you cannot learn from anyone. Very difficult. Shutvayamapi Bahubhi. A neat number of times to listen to it. You cannot get it. Any number of times. When it is taught by the Ascharyo Vakta, the wonderful speaker, the wonderful teacher, but you are also a wonderful Ascharyo Jnata. Ascharyo, you are also great. I am also great. Both are equally great. Greatness in the sense equally earnest, equally keen. To teach and to learn, it's a wonderful incident that has happened. This is what Yama says. Wonderful, an opportunity has come our way. There is an Ascharyo Vakta, Ascharyo and Kushala Labdha. There is Ascharyo Gyata, Kushala Anushishta. Both sides there is equal eagerness to teach and learn. What a wonderful opportunity is this. What a wonderful arrangement of circumstances is this. That is how Yama feels so happy having met Nachiketa, one deserving fellow who is not afraid of me, who is not tempted by my ideas, who is keen. I get this or I don't want anything else from you. I want that Buddhi like Nachiketa. I don't want anybody else. If you are anybody else, I don't want you. You have to be Nachiketa or Nachiketi, whichever you call it. That clarity is what I require. Otherwise, Ascharyo Vakta, Akushala Labdha it will become. One-way traffic, it won't reach. Both are required. It will be a wastage of my speech. So please put that very, very sharp, clear focus. Thousands and thousands of times I have missed this. This time I am not going to miss it. This time I want to get it right. Because Ascharyo Vakta, the one who is speaking is a great personality. I must also become great. Ascharyo Gyata. I should also learn and become great. That kind of keen passion should be there. You may think, will the life become very boring after all of this exercise? I won't enjoy the food, I won't enjoy all this Nritya Gite. What will happen to me? Will it become one sad, long-faced, droopy-looking sannyasi? Will that is what is my fate at the end of this exercise? No. You'll be full of ananda. Be ever joyful. Even if your food is good, you're joyful. Food is not good, joyful. Things go your way, you're joyful. Things don't go your way, you are joyful. In every situation, you are joyful. That is what will happen to you. That is such an amazing gift of this effort. Lifelong of joy. Permanent joy. Ever increasing joy. Not the one which comes and goes, but comes and grows. That joy is yours. You'll continue to sing, you'll continue to act the way you have to do. You do everything with a clear awareness that all these things are being done as a part of my duty here. But I remain unaffected. That all is not me. I am the one who is watching all these being done. Drishya, Viveka. I watch myself sing. I watch myself eat. I watch myself sleep. I watch myself read. Like I watch this pillar or this pillow. That kind of discrimination will come. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhayaha. For such a person, wherever his mind goes, into any silliest small doubt of a 5th class, 6th class student you are clearing, to dealing with a huge trust issue, to developing some big building or buying a land, to dealing with your colleagues and elders, sarvatra samadhayaha. You'll always be in the state of samadhi, samabuddhi. So the end of buddhi yoga, the gift of buddhi yoga is samadhi, equal-mindedness. That is the gift of buddhi yoga, when you use the buddhi to attain this. And if you don't have any interest in this, nobody can help you. And I know some people are not interested in all this. They're very happy entertaining themselves. If we are singing bhajan, no, we are singing for Swami. What more do you need? Swami always said, if you sing for me, I will take care of everything. No, I didn't say that. I said, if you sing for me always, satatam, then I'll take care of you. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. So why don't you believe that you are nityabhiyukta? I am taking care this way also by teaching you buddhi yoga. Why should you not believe that? Why should you take the lazy path that I will lie around and my mother cat will come and pick me up? If you really have that bhakti, there is no doubt. Then you would have never sinned at all in these many days. If you really had that bhakti, you would have never deviated from this path. But if you have already deviated and there are possibilities of deviation, it means what? You are not that kitten bhakta. You are not the ananyas chintayanto. You are not the satyatam bhajatam. You are so-so. It means you need this effort. It means you need this effort. So please put this effort. That is very, very important at this point in time. The end of it is so beautiful. The journey may be whatever. Happy, unhappy, easy, uneasy. The destination is beautiful. When you climb the hill, have you ever climbed any of these hills on top? At least Anandam Hill you have climbed. That is enough to tell you. Climbing is a huffing, puffing, hot sun, winding road. Effort is there. When you reach on top, beautiful view, nice breeze, and the mandir. So if Anandam Hill only is giving you this much of Anandam, if you climb up Nandi Hill, the view will be even better, you can see so far. That is even more beautiful, but climb also is going to be equally tough. But this climbing is a must. Don't settle down at halfway through the hill saying that this much view is enough for this life. Next life we will see. There is no guarantee that you won't doze off and roll down the hill next day. Definitely possible. So at least you should climb up. Okay? Children, how straight they sit when the movie is going on. Not one word from their mouth. Have you seen their interest? That's why when I watch these boys, I get so much of confidence. Humpy boys, when I watch them, Koppalampi, this unicycle they were. I cannot balance myself on unicycle. Can you? These boys, what focus, what concentration. He's only focusing on the unicycle. He's fallen, picks it up again, climbs it, and starts. And that too in an obstacle path, not even plain road. And not bothered, there are thousands of eyes watching. He's undisturbed, perturbed by anybody watching. His focus is, I must finish this course somehow. I fell off, I must pick it up and I must finish this. Only when he got down from the other side was he satisfied. That is the focus. So I get a lot of confidence. If these children can be trained early into this path, imagine what they will be, because their mind and their focus is so much. You can balance a unicycle, fall in front of thousands of people and not feel ashamed or afraid, as if obsessed by that idea to conquer the obstacle. He got up again and started again on that. It gave me so much of joy. I felt there is a Nachiketa over there. If only this sharpness of the mind is turned towards God, he can attain God. And he will not give up on the way. And before all the Kama, Krodha, Loha enter that boy's mind, which is, he is just 10 years, 12 years or whatever. Another 4 years, obstacles will be more. But at this point, if you can teach, that is why we should teach children early, young, so that they can understand. They know the theory very clearly, and practically also they know how to differentiate between wrong and right, and practice it also. It goes too old, then it becomes very difficult to learn. So that anyway, yours are still a good age, You can still learn at this age. If you go even further, it will become even more complicated, become more difficult. So any age is good age, any time is good time, any place is a good place to walk on the path of spirituality. Everything else can be taken time and done. This is one thing that you should not take time. You should do it immediately, then and there. This is one thing that you should not have patience for. Everything else you show patience. This one you should do then and there. A good thought comes, execute then and there. A bad thought comes, postpone till it's forgotten. And it dies a natural death. Good thought comes, then and there you should jump in. So if you wake up at 2 o'clock suddenly and then you don't know what to do with yourself, naturally it's a tamas time and mind will only go into the wrong side. Pick up a book if you're not getting sleep. Mostly you'll get sleep because you work hard. But any time of the day, anywhere, keep something with you as a physical, not a talisman, but a cue for you to go back to that. A small pocket book of Bhagavad Gita, or a small pocket calendar of Swami, anything, a packet of Vibhuti, take it and put it in your tongue. Immediately it will pacify your mind. Anything, some cue to help you keep walking on this path. Some people carry this Nama Smarana, Nama Japa, just to ensure that they don't miss. Anything that helps you immediately. Keep practicing. After some, may not be in this week itself will become perfect, but you would have now known the trick. That this is the trick to deal with the mind. So far what you have done pranayama, pratyahara. Next is dharana, to hold one thought. How do I realize my true self? What are the things that are required for that? What are the efforts that I need to put from here onwards? That kind of thinking is dharana. That let us hold for 1 week. Only one thought should occupy our head. And next 1 week time, no phones, no social media, no laptops, unless you have work. Keep the time also limited, 1 hour. Because if the phone is simply lying by your side, naturally you will go and unnecessarily look into it. It won't be necessary, but you will simply look into it. So do one thing, fix your phone time. Okay, 9 o'clock in the morning to 10, that is a Rajasic time. Good time to finish all my office duties or whatever, main important thing. Similarly, evening you keep a time. This is between this time to this time I will use the phone. Rest of the time put the phone down. And anybody who tell them I will be available only between this time to this time. Practice it as a thing. For 1 week you practice. You see how your mind can hold one thought. How capable your mind is. You will be surprised when you discover that all this was possible for me, I didn't even know. So like that you cut down. Mainly for elders I am saying, who have phones, and also youngsters who have phones. And any other distractions they have. Any other books you have in your cupboard, magazines, if necessary, just throw it out. Keep everything empty. If any time you get any, just go back. take a japmala, pick up the Sadhya book, just spend time on that. Simply go for a walk, sit down in the nature, do some seva, anything positive, but not the negative side of things, where mind can be drawn into the world and its worldly ways. Avoid everything. You are doing bhajan practice, all right, or you are doing some other Veda, something, all right. Anything positive. That week you should not allow any other thought to get in. That is the effort. Let us see, 4th week should be the result. 3 weeks of effort and 4th week should be you should feel some result of this whole thing. Has anybody felt some peace in these last 2 weeks compared to last 2 years? Or more disturbance you have felt? First 2 weeks will be disturbance. Next 2 weeks will be peaceful. When you clean your cupboard, dust is there, dust rises, gets into your nose, you cough. That is the first 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, you have already got rid of the dust. It's quite clean now. Make sure the windows and doors are closed so that more dust does not come in. That is the next 2 weeks. Let us see how well you do. But at the end of it, again, I repeat, at the cost of repeating that, it's not enough if I go on speaking like this. Before me, hundreds and thousands of saints have spoken. But not everybody has become jnani. Why? Because the people who listened did not follow. Speakers did what they were needed to do. The listeners did not do. So because of that, they lagged. Because of that, they could not achieve. So this time, it should not happen that way.
प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा, प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा, प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा, प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा, दया करो भगवान, दया करो भगवान, कृपा करो भगवान, कृपा करो भगवान, दया करो भगवान, दया करो भगवान, कृपा करो भगवान, कृपा करो भगवान। तुम्हारी दया बिन कैसा जीवन, 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 रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम, रोम में बसने वाले राम, रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम, रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम, जनन मरण से पार उतारो, जनन प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा,
प्रेमामृत बरसाओ बाबा,
दया करो भगवान,
दया करो भगवान,
कृपा करो भगवान,
कृपा करो
तुम्हारी दया बिन कैसा जीवन,
तुम्हारी दया बिन कैसा जीवन,
रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम,
रोम में बसने वाले राम,
रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम,
रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम,
जनन मरण से पार उतारो,
जनन मरण से पार उतारो,
दया करो भगवान, कृपा करो भगवान,
कृपा करो
दया करो भगवान,